Welcome back, everybody, to a rather annoying level. The final level. And it starts off right off the bat with enemies, watchers. You just basically have to be quick, shoot the ones coming down, and yeah, quickly get up the ladder, make sure these guys don't shoot you, or you'll have a very bad spiky death. And then comes a gauntlet of pea shooters, or whatever these things are called. But first, just in case you ran out of guts energy, you will be stuck here. Poor played design, I would say. But yeah, here's the pea shooter galley right here. And weird Gutsman statues or decor. Very, very unique and disturbing. But his fascination, Dr. Wily's fascination with the Gutsman, will soon come to light in later games. But now we have some Gutsman platforms I'm just not going to bother with. And an extra life and a weird item which actually refills all energy and weapon energy. But we now need to finish the last four Robot Master rematches. Bomb Man, who is really not cooperating with me right now. What should happen is that when you walk to him, he'll jump to the far side, throw a bomb, you walk to him, he'll jump to the far side, and so on and so forth. But every now and then he does trip things up like that and kind of ruin a good run for you. Fireman is just as easy as before, but you just got to get out of the teleporter quick and then start the process. If you don't do it right off the bat and do it perfectly, he'll start spazzing on you and start firing flames crazy, non-dodgeable. So, and here's the part that broke me. I have gotten way more outtakes than I'm going to show in this video, otherwise this video would last minutes and minutes and minutes long. But at least to say I am tired of Iceman and I just want him dead. So 3 shots and get the heck out of there. Now I'm back to the Buster. If Gutsman is going to cooperate with me. Sometimes he doesn't. Okay, that's a little bit too close, Guts. That's too close, Gutsman. Thank you. Back away. Gutsman is very unpredictable, and the closer he gets, the dangerous he is. As long as he stays on the far side, I'm okay. Oh, jeez. Okay. This is it. I'm going to do my best to do this with no Buster. But the first phase, in my opinion, is actually the most tricky of the Wily machine. It is a constant flow of shots that track your X position and will arc up and downward to your last known position. So as long as you keep moving and you jump at specific times in between shots to fire on the cannon, this part of the boss is really not that bad. I would not take chances once he gets close to you on the left side of the screen, but you can take more chances when he's further away from you. But when the shots get condensed like this, just focus on avoiding them and not attacking him. You'll get your chance later. But kind of doing this back and forth movement is really helpful. Okay. Concentrate. Oh, no, 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 no. It's going to hit me. It's going to hit me. Oh, jeez, it hit me. Alright, second phase, everybody. The whole back and forth thing from the first phase is kind of back, but in a different way. He shoots a really wonky revolving shot that goes in in a circular pattern that seems to be aimed at your rough position when it was fired. So if you can, try and get it... Oh, jeez. Try and get it fired at a higher... Oh, my goodness. At a higher angle like that. So try and be in the middle of a jump when he fires it. But more often than not, you find that you're actually safer if you... You're safer if you actually stay closer to the machine, because the first angle is always in a downward left arcing motion. So if you're closer to the machine, it'll most likely go right over your head, and if you're still pressing right, it'll just pass you completely. Just don't be an idiot and run right into the machine like I did in one of the outtakes. So be wary of where the machine is, and I'm... Oh! Yes, I beat him! Oh, I wasn't even looking at the energy bar. I was just focused on dodging shots. Oh my goodness, I finally did it. Well, no, I didn't really do the challenge, but I beat it. And beating Mega Man 1 is an accomplishment in and of itself. Oh, I am so glad this is done. can't wait to move on to some of the easier Mega Mans. But I had to start where it began, all the way from the beginning. Mega Man has ended the evil domination of Dr. Wily and restored the world to peace. However, the never-ending battle continues until all destructive forces are defeated. Fight, Mega Man, for everlasting peace. Yep, that is the iconic line of the Mega Man series, for everlasting peace, which, if you follow the storyline of the Mega Man series, is never everlasting. In fact, there's hardly any peace at all in these games. There's just constant war, constant strife, constant struggle. Mega Man will continue to fight in all of his various iterations, and there still will not be everlasting peace. So, yep, now we get the nice little credits roll. Find out that Mega Man is, I guess, a boy robot turned into a fighting robot. And find out that these designers of the game don't really have actual names. Or actually they do, but they just never, back in the old days of NES, they never really spelled out their full names. So they had either initials or some weird names like Tompon or something, or where's the one I'm looking for? There's one specifically I'm looking for that just made me laugh. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Yuki-chan's Papa! Whoever Yuki-chan is, his Papa had a hand in it. And there's light and roll. Whew. Well, I'm glad that this is done, and the analysis will come up next after the outtakes, and I'll go in detail about each level and the difficulties and trials I had. So, enjoy the outtakes. This last level is kind of a doozy, and I mean, if you just don't die just from the start like I did. Crap. And Iceman is probably one of the biggest issues in this level, as long as you can dodge properly. Oh gosh, Gutsman, you're way too... Get away, get away, you are not cooperating with me. Oh no! Oh, crap. Why do you gotta do this to me? Okay, as long as you jump at the right times, see, really... And I was totally not paying attention there. Okay, as long as you stay close to him... Crap! I mean, you just gotta stay close to the machine and not get caught like I did. Alright, come on. Woo. I am so close to killing you! Oh, he's almost dead. Yeah, so as long as you don't... Oh, come on, really? Mega Man. This is the game that started the franchise that spawned dozens of sequels and spin-offs. It is also one of the hardest of the original series for several reasons. One major reason is the lack of a password save system where you can pick up progress where you left off. You had to finish this brutal game in one sitting. That can be pretty taxing. Second is the utter devastation certain attacks can cause, and I will get into more detail about these later with the individual level rankings. Finally, in the final levels, the lack of a good, large energy power-up when beating a Robot Master can be the death knell in any player's run if they are sorely lacking in health when braving the final gauntlet. So how did I do? Well, I obviously failed the challenge, and I'll point out specifically where I failed. So without further ado, let's get to the individual level rankings. Starting off, Fireman's level was pretty tame, surprisingly, as far as Mega Man 1 levels go. There were a few tricky spots, but nothing that stood out as brutal. In fact, if you know the secret to his AI flaw, this level is quite the easy level. So, I can't give Fireman any more than a 1 out of 5. Now, Iceman's level is very erratic. It almost doesn't know what it wants to be. First we have an ice level, then interrupted by phase or Yoku blocks, and then finally a horrible section of moving shot platforms. Top it off with a very durable little Robot Master at the end with a pinpoint precision dodging shot pattern, and you got the makings of a horribly difficult level. Thankfully, I still passed this level within my challenge parameters, so he only gets a 4 out of 5. But he was teetering on the edge there. Cutman level, on the other hand, is a long one, but nothing overtly hard. It seems the overall length of it is the only draw it has in wearing you down for what will ultimately end up being a rather easy boss battle. So, sorry Cutman, you only get a 1 out of 5. Now, Gutsman level isn't exactly hard. especially once you know the trick to the moving platforms at the start. As long as you remember to jump earlier rather than later, you can make each jump on that section easily. Gutsman himself isn't exactly hard and can be a pushover once you realize when he'll summon a block to throw at you. Gutsman doesn't deserve anything more than a 1 out of 5. Alekman. Oh, Alekman. You broke my challenge, you little punk. His level isn't exactly hard. In fact, with practice, you can make it through most of it without taking a hit. Sure, there were some tricky jumps or timing issues with some of the elect traps, but it wasn't all that bad, just long. Alekman himself is the total spaz here. Without his weakness, no one method seems to work easily. Even his AI flaw of firing with his arms raised requires pinpoint timing and isn't easily executed. All other methods are dicey and end up getting you killed if you waver just a bit from the formula. So for breaking my challenge and my patience, Alekman, you get a 5 out of 5. Now Bomb Man was a refreshing break from the terror that was Alekman's stage. His stage wasn't as long as Cutman, but it did have the advantage in its favor of enemies wearing you down before the boss fight. Thankfully, he has a painfully exploitable AI pattern that can make mincemeat out of him. Bomb Man, you only get a 1 out of 5. Now, moving on to the Wily stages, Yellow Devil stage almost broke my patience and my challenge. But in the 11th hour, literally on my last run I was going to do before I quit and just do weapons and was going to accept deaths, I defeated him. Whew. So a very hard 5 leaning 4 out of 5 for the Yellow Devil here. You almost earned that 5. That honor, however, goes to the Copy Robot stage for the sole purpose of Alekman alone. Even without the height elevation in his boss room, he is absolutely lethal, and his elect shots are simply too freaking powerful to even exist. Even with the rolling cutter as his weakness, you are never guaranteed a victory here. How you do on the second half of the level all depends on your performance with Alekman. The Copy Robot isn't really anything difficult as long as you realize what his AI pattern is, and you don't switch to any of the other weapons for him to use against you. So for this level, a 5 out of 5. The third Wily stage level almost doesn't deserve mention, but the boss did trip me up once, so it does get a 1 out of 5. The final level was the one I was dreading, but not for the reasons I thought. I had originally thought that the final Wily machine would be my downfall, but it was a small, stout, little Iceman that broke my challenge. I could not get past him with either dying or using weapon energy to quickly get rid of him. He is the sole deciding factor if you will pass or fail the rest of the level based on how much health you have left after you beat him and if you're good at dodging. I had way more outtakes on Iceman than I showed, but rest assured, he destroyed me for this challenge. So for that, the fourth Wily stage gets a 5 out of 5. Well, I can honestly, finally say I've put the original Mega Man to rest, and the final score I will give to Mega Man for this challenge is a 10 out of 10. It justly earned this score, and I'm happy to say I'll never attempt this challenge again with this game. So, to update the tally, Retro Challenge Gamer 6, Video Games 2. My streak of winnings has finally come to a crashing halt with Mega Man. Funny, too, since he is by far my favorite game series. It had to be this series that beat my streak. Regardless, I'm looking forward to a more recent game that I fell in love with, Prey. A rather interesting first-person shooter that pulls out a lot of interesting ideas and concepts. What could I possibly have as a challenge for it? Well, you'll just have to find out. So until then, see you later.